I am your friend, I am your warrior. I run your races, I walk your miles. I never give up in stormy weather. Now I need you to share my trials. My eyes are open, my heart is true, my words unspoken are all for you. My hope is brave, our bond is strong. I stand for freedom, oh hear my song. I'm yours in poverty, I'm yours in wealth. I stand for loyalty, I need your help. I'm part of history, this land so true. I give my life, my soul to you. And I wanna run free, I wanna be loved in the heart of the American people. Oh, I wanna run free, I wanna be loved in the hearts of the American people. I've carried soldiers, I've carried babes, I've run the gauntlet to the grave. I'm sound of heart and sure of pride, if you will stand right by my side. I'm yours in poverty, I'm yours in wealth. I stand for loyalty, I need your help. I'm part of history, this land so true. I give my life, my soul to you. And I wanna run free, I wanna be loved in the hearts of the American people. Oh, I wanna run free, I wanna be loved in the hearts of the American people. Oh, I wanna run free, I wanna be loved in the hearts of the American people.
Here we are in Heber, Arizona. The Global Rescuers has traveled all this way to touch on a very important subject. But first, we're here to meet a woman named Mary. So if you follow me, maybe we can find her.
Hi! How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Welcome to Heber.
Thank you. So we're here to talk about something really, really important that's going on. It's been all over social media, and it's about the wild horses. So please tell us what is going on with this.
Well, Forest Service watches over both the Heber horses and the Salt River horses. They have been charged with the duty of managing those herds.
And from when did that begin? When did it become their duty to do that?
Well, the Heber horses, way back in 1971, they were charged with that obligation to manage them. The Salt River horses have been on the Tonto National Forest, since 1930.
Wow.
And no one has really overseen them. They've always kind of let them fall under the radar of anyone's scope, so they haven't been managed at all.
And so now they, from what I understand, and I'm the layman, is that they want to take both the Salt River wild horses and the Heber and round them up and do what with them?
They do not have a destination for either herd of horses. And without a destination, their only destination would be to public auction, and that has proved unsuccessful over many years, so it would be the slaughterhouse.
And that's what I was afraid of. So euthanasia, I mean, my point of view, they're not hurting anybody. This is their land, their world. The animals were here before us. So what is the solution to this issue, and is there one?
Yes, I think there's possible two solutions: managing them properly, giving them a sanctuary, and providing, whether it be local citizens as volunteers or the Forest Service or all of us working together, which would be very unique, to offer guidance to each other on how to manage this herd, preserve it for our history, our children, our grandchildren, and Arizona.
Can we go out and maybe see and watch the horses in their natural habitat?
I would love to.
And then once we get there, there's other issues to cover, such as how people can help. And we also touched on the subject of prisons and horses.
Right.
So can we go?
Yes, I would love to.
And we need to pray that we can find these horses.
Yes,
right?
we do. I've been
Okay.
out scouting this morning, and I have found some, but they're wild, so they move. You know, I told them to
I
stay,
know.
but
And I sent them an email, so hopefully
Yay.
they got it. So let's go.
okay, let's go. I was out trail riding, and I encountered the first Salt River horse,
Okay.
and I was like, oh my God, wild horses! And so for a horse girl,
That's
this was
a
like,
dream.
oh! And I always tell people, I get out of my truck with the same enthusiasm today, 20 years later,
Wow.
as the very first time. And there was
That's
a
a
gray
passion.
horse running through down by the Salt River, and I just fell apart.
That's a passion.
It
for
is.
Sure. So let's see if we can
Okay.
find any. I'm excited.
We, as American citizens, own this land.
How do they monitor the land to keep away forest fires, to keep it clean, etc.?
That's a wonderful question, because the horses help that.
Okay.
All winter long, these horses live in this same land, and this beautiful green grass is going to be brown and dead and prime kindling for a forest fire. And the horses eat that all winter long. Elk and the deer out here, they eat the trees. Horses do not eat any bark or any trees.
So to take the horses out of that, then there's this area is going to look completely different than it does now.
Oh, you won't recognize it if it doesn't burn again, you won't recognize it.
So you do have a personal relationship with these wild horses.
You can't touch them. You can't you can get near some of them. There's one band that I call the Spooks, because the minute I get out of my side-by-side or my truck, they're gone. So I have a lot of running away pictures of them.
Oh, that's a great name too for that.
I don't individually name each horse. I call them by their stallion name.
Right. So you've never ever touched a wild horse?
I have a rule, and when the babies, because the babies are nosy, and they will come close, and I'll say, no, 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 no. If I touch you, you're not wild anymore. And that's what I say to them.
You know what? That has to be one of the hardest things to do, because
It is.
I don't know that
It
I
is.
could do it.
Especially if you come across one that's hurt.
Oh, so
That's-
then what do you do?
I let nature take its course. And that's just what you have to do, because nature will take its course. It needs public awareness and education. That's the biggest
Right,
thing.
because knowledge is power.
And if we don't take care of it, we all know it's going to go away.
Right.
I'm driving back in here now because there's a big water hole back here, and oftentimes, particularly at this time of the day, it's getting warm. These horses are looking to come in and water. I have
I see
Australian
some
horses.
right
Where?
over there. We talked about the herds, and the other aspect of that was what?
Band. A herd is the Heber herd, the Salt River herd. That's a title to that whole area that has those horses. The Heber horses break off, well, all horses do, they break off into bands or families.
Okay.
And they are very unique groups. There's a lead stallion and the lead mare. They run the entire family, very much like humans. And so what they do is they work together to keep them safe, of course. The stallion is in charge of protection, and the mares are in charge of taking them in case of danger and moving them. They ran over
Yeah,
there.
I heard
Now they're
them.
snorting at us.
I heard, because they want us over there or something. They're talking to us.
Right. This is not my herd that I call Old Buck. This is actually Spook. So
This
we
is
have to be
Spook.
really,
Yes, but
really,
they won't-
really.
they won't spook
I don't
this
think
time.
they will either. The lead stallion is out front, and
The
he
lead,
is
the first one's the
he's
lead?
the first one, and he's what the coloring is a bay. He's approximately 10 years old, and it's been only the last 3 years that I'm able to even get this close to this herd.
Wow. Mary, this is beautiful. I am so grateful. I knew they would be here.
So you've got a couple of babies in here.
Okay.
You've got mostly.
Oh, I see the little baby.
And those were born this year.
Oh.
So you've got, and then the next shorter ones in between where that littlest one is, they are yearlings. They were born last year. And then those are our mares back there with one little baby. If we walk straight in, we're going to push them. So
Okay.
we're going to go ahead of them a little bit. You do want to keep your distance to keep them wild. I always encourage people to shoot with the telephoto if they're out here photographing.
Uh-huh.
Never feed these horses because their system is used to this right here, not alfalfa and all kinds of additives that will actually cause a thing in horses that's called colic, and it can cause death.
They tend to come over, or would they be stopped by the stallion?
Sometimes a mare will call them back in. She will nicker, and it's a universal language, and it's kind of like your mom calling.
Right.
They know. There's
Okay.
one rolling. And they'll do that to get rid of the bugs.
Okay. So they're even teaching us right now with their own behavior.
Right.
This is such a gift, Mary. Oh my goodness.
Isn't this something?
This
People don't
really-
realize this.
I mean, how could
It will change you.
I'm telling you, I'm already.
And they'll take turns. When this one's done rolling, someone else will take a turn.
Okay.
Oftentimes, see, now the stallion's walking over. Most of the time, the stallion will roll first. He will drink first. And the reason his lead mare is watching. When they get to a new area, such as a water hole, the stallion will drink first. See, he's next.
Yes.
And then the lead mare will drink when he's finished so that he can watch while she drinks. And then the two of them will go out and be censurers while the rest of them drink.
Right. So
And
they're in unison. They're working together
Yes.
as a group without any conflict.
The worst thing that happens when they do a roundup is they come in and they just push them all into capture pens, and then they separate them. As they get them into one big holding pen, then there's chutes. The stallions will go here, the babies will go here, and the mares will go here.
It's not good.
The stallions fight because
Yeah.
they're in these close
Wow.
and they hear their mares screaming. The mares are screaming because their babies are screaming.
Yeah.
And you watch this and you go, do you have a heart at all?
Right.
Are you human? And that's what they do.
So wait. This is exciting. Mary actually does have a solution for this problem. The Global Rescuers first cliff note. Mary, take it.
Actually, the Heber horses do have a designated territory. And so I would like to see the horses put back on that territory, re-fenced to keep them so that they aren't causing what they call trouble, and designate that as a sanctuary, a permanent place. And then moving down the river to the Salt River horses, because they did migrate down the river many years ago from the horses that originally came with our settlers here. and designate a sanctuary for our Salt River horses.
So this is really cool. We're up here in Heber and we find out one of our old friends is here. Let me show you who she is.
Oh my gosh! What are you guys doing here? What are you doing in Overguard, Arizona?
Well, we were up here to shoot the wild animals. Can we steal you for a minute?
Of course. Come on, Willie.
Puppy, come on.
Oh,
Come on, Miss Lily.
Willie,
This is-
Willie.
Oh, Willie. This is so cool, Barry. We were down in the checking out the wild horses.
Aren't they wonderful?
They are, and Mary said we must come and see you.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. I love Mary, and we keep in touch on that.
Yes.
So,
And when we got out there, Barry, it was so cool because we got to see the wild animals. They came, the wild horses. They came right up. It was amazing.
Well,
we saw one herd, and then we saw a group of 2 brothers that were 16. What were they, Corey? 16? 16 years old?
16.
oh my gosh.
And they were showing us what they do in the wild.
Well, Mary is an amazing lady, as you know, and has taken, this has been over a year's time. She's parked herself out in the woods. I'm sure she told you that. So the horses are used to her and they're very comfortable around her. And she has done what no one has as far as learning their habits and letting them feel that she's not a threat. So I'm so glad you're doing this. This will be a wonderful Global Rescuers show.
It surely
And
is.
something people all over the world are concerned about.
Right, and we believe we're the only one covering the story right now.
Oh, I'm so
on
glad.
the other aspect of what is the solution to this problem. So, Mary, you've been part of our world because you are one of the people that are responsible for most of our shows happening under your umbrella. So, what I wanted to do is I wanted to get your take on what you think the solution would be, and just talk about in general what's going on with the saltwater horses, river horses, Salt River,
Well,
and Heber.
The big outcry on the Salt River, I think, went global, and as a result, they put a hold on that, which is wonderful. And we have a wonderful governor in our state who also loves animals and expressed his concerns too. So I think that probably had some influence on what might have happened. So I'm happy about that. As far as the animals up here, the Heber horses, many years ago there was a woman who I knew very well who took the time to study these horses, and it was her conclusion. She wrote a piece. She was a PhD and really somebody who could get into research. And she discovered that a lot of these horses were descendants of a horse named Conquistador and were the original inhabitants up here, and that they had protection. Well, what they're trying to show now is that these are from ranches and from the reservations, and nobody really knows. But there is the chance that some of these horses are the conquistador descendants. Pat passed away, or she'd still be on it. We all respected her work very, very much. At any rate, we love seeing the horses. We see them a lot when we walk. They're in the forest back there, and of course we had that big fire about 12, 13 years ago. So now we can actually see them because the growth isn't 200-foot ponderosas, but rather shorter, lower trees so that we can see them.
And they are magnificent.
They are magnificent. We love them. We understand that there's another point of view with the ranchers, but I would hope that the answer is not to annihilate these beautiful animals, that there is a way of compromising and managing them and letting them live. Surely with all the land in these forests, there's enough for all
everybody.
the animals to graze on and eat. It would break so many people's hearts to think that these animals would be going to slaughter.
And on top of that, it would be breaking up their own family units.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, do you want somebody coming into your family unit and annihilating it?
Of course not.
No.
You know, if there was a solution with rescues for them. Wouldn't that be great? Where we could round some of them up if that's the issue, that there are too many. And I honestly am not.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either. But let's say it was the case and they could be safe in a beautiful sanctuary. But that's not what's happening. And the solution that the land management, the Bureau of Land Management is talking about is rounding them up and sending them to slaughter, sending them to auction where the killers come.
That's
and
not an option.
we just don't want that to happen. We love these animals.
Just as the wildflower grows it naturally in its environment, so should these horses. We're begging and pleading, please, leave well enough alone. This is Kimberly reminding you, this is not just a show, this is a movement, and we will see you next time.